see the way they hate. And I know better than to listen to the people who are calling us names. I can feel the sunlight shining.
Well, good morning. It's Wednesday, November 24th, 2024, and welcome to episode 814 of the Lots Project Morning Show, where the coffee's strong, the opinions are stronger, and everything is always filter-free. I'm Brian, your host, and today I'm enjoying a light Peruvian from foodforestfarms.com, where you can get 10% off with discount code LOTS10, and the shipping is always free. While you're there, check out the C4 Club. Annual C4 Club membership on sale now through the middle of December. Get it in before that last shipping date, or the C4 shipping date in December, or you will miss it for another year. Unbelievable deal. And the other thing is there's only 30 spots available. So either it runs out time-wise or it runs out spot-wise, but either way, it's a limited time offer, and you should check it out today. That's foodforestfarms.com. You can find the C4 Club deal right there when you get to foodforestfarms.com. Discounts do not apply. You can't use the Lots 10 on the C4 membership. So head on over. The deal is fantastic. You don't need that extra 10%. So I appreciate you checking that out. Other than that, we will see what we run into today. Let's head over in the live chat, see who's hanging out already, and then we will get rolling. Good morning, Canadian Farmstead. How's it going? Pip, Wednesday, Wednesday, middle of the day, hump week. Canadian Farmstead says vertical is way too close. I don't know how to fix that, man. Let me see if I can change it. Good morning, John Palmer. How's it going? Fuck. It just won't let me do anything to change it. Oh well. Is that better? Is the gone better? I don't know what the heck why it is it different than it was when I was on the other channel. I don't know if settings got messed up. I don't know what's going on with it, but anyway, we might shut that one down for a bit anyway. So Canadian Farmstead, you over on the main feed again, because I'm gonna drop that short feed. John Palmer, good morning and good holiday, good holiday. Good morning and good day, good holiday. Happy Thanksgiving. It's not Happy Thanksgiving. I know no need to drop it, but I haven't been happy with the way it's looked in a couple days, but it's just it hasn't garnered enough traffic to worry about it. So I don't know. Things went sideways when I switched channels, and it is what it is. You try. Thanks. Some people might want to see pimples and pores. Some people might not want to see my face in general, whether it's close or far away. So I don't know how it gets so close. Why it gets so close. Probably because I'm only like a foot and a half from the screen. But we'll see. Bless you, Corey. Good morning over there in the back room. Anyway, guys, it's going to be the last show of the week. I talked to Corey this morning, and she's off the rest of the week. We're going to take Thanksgiving and Friday there to take a little vacation for ourselves, since every day that Corey gets off from work, I am doing the show normally, and we don't get to sleep in or enjoy the days off. So last show of the week this week. Thanksgiving, people can hang out with their families and enjoy that time. And then Friday, I don't know what you guys are going to do. I don't know. But Corey and I will probably have a date day or something to that effect, since it's her vacation and we're going to enjoy it. Also have some shakeups coming to the show in the next week to 2 weeks to 3 weeks. I don't know when I'm going to get it all figured out, but probably dialing back on frequency. So we will see. We will see. Got a lot of stuff on the plate, and going into December, going into some things, I'm having to shift some stuff around and seeing where it's going to fall. But more details on that in the days to come. Today, I got to talk about a movie we watched last night on suggestions from the folks here in the audience. Interview yesterday with someone that I shouldn't say I've known, but I've known about for a very, very long time, and it was everything that I expected it to be, and probably more. Fold rolled out a new service, or a new feature, yesterday, I believe. Talk about that, and then the free Bitcoin you get for signing up when you want to use Fold, and a couple other things on the list that we might get to. But yeah, good morning. How is everyone doing today? So yesterday, you folks suggested, I don't know which of you it was, Mike's Homestead, Pip. Somebody suggested we watch Wagons East, or asked if we had watched Wagons East prior, and I hadn't. John Palmer says, got a new girlfriend, show pushing the old one to the side. I wish it was that, man. I can't consume the amount of time I consume putting into the show for zero return. I shouldn't say zero return. That's way too harsh. For not enough return to make the time worth it. So at some points you make very difficult decisions on doing things and changing things that just need to be changed, not because you want to, but because it just makes sense. And it's not the new podcast. I'm totally handling the new podcast outside of the time that the morning show is, but there's more lucrative ways to spend my time, and at this point, that's what it's about. That's what it's about. So it I don't know if it was the 2 unplanned 2-week vacations that I had. I don't know if it was changing to the new channel. I don't know if it was I don't know what it was. And it really doesn't matter, but downloads and views and everything are it just doesn't add up. So it is what it is. It is what it is. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But somebody suggested watching Wagons East because we were talking about John McGinley and from Scrubs and Office Space and whatnot. And somebody mentioned it, and Corey, quick as a whip, jumped on Amazon and saw that it was on Amazon Live, and so we grabbed it. We watched it. Oh, it was Canadian Farmstead. Sorry, I mentioned everyone except the person that actually mentioned it. I couldn't remember, man. It was a long time ago, 24 hours. So it was on Amazon Prime, and so Corey and I grabbed it yesterday and watched it last night, and thank you, Canadian Farmstead, for suggesting it, because it was good. It was good. It was above fair. Let's say I didn't immediately buy it. It was good. There were tons of fantastic parts to the movie. I did get a huge Mel Brooks feel, Blazing Saddles-esque, and I jumped on the Googles to find out if it was actually one of his later movies or something. In '93, I think it was when it came out. I didn't think that Brooks was doing stuff. Was he? I don't think so, but it felt like a Blazing Saddle takeoff, which is fine. It worked well. It worked well. McGinley was hilarious. It was just, like I said in the Telegram group, he was fabulous in his role in that, and yeah, definitely worth watching. It was worth watching, 100%. But yeah. Canadian Farm says John Candy passed before it was finished. Okay. All right. All right. That doesn't sound right though. That doesn't I mean, you would know. No, John Candy, he probably just the John Candy died in 94. And it was 94. Corey told me it was 93.
No, I told you it was 94. Sandlot was 93.
What's that?
I told you it was 94. Sandlot was 93.
Oh, see, I'm getting old and senile a little bit. Sandlot was 93. Wagons East was 94. So, gotcha. You were right. I'm sorry. I was wrong. I'll pay the penalty. John Candy died. He said they had to do some body doubles and changes to get the movie done. It happens. I mean, we were talking about The Crow yesterday, weren't we? IMDb gave Wagons East a 4.8 out of 10. I think that's a little harsh. What did Rotten Tomatoes? I don't even see. It didn't even come up. All right. Anyway, sorry guys, a little distraction there. So Wagons East was good. The storyline was pretty good. There were a lot of really funny parts. One-liners and things like that. But as a whole, I'd give it a fair to better than fair, and good for a watch. Canadian Farm says this is not great cinema. It's fun. It's just fun. Well, I didn't go into it expecting it to be like Avatar or something with huge special effects and things like that. It was definitely set in that Western theme, which, like I said, like Blazing Saddles is the exact same thing. And it was done well. There was a lot of stuff there was definitely a lot of stuff that couldn't be put on the screen today. Yeah, it was good. I enjoyed it. Thanks for the recommendation. And anybody out there listening, it's on Amazon Prime right now. So if you have that, you can dial it up and take the time to watch it. You might think it is absolutely asinine and stupid, but maybe not. Maybe you'll get a good chuckle out of it. So yesterday I got to interview Matthew Lesko. I mentioned it on the show yesterday, and did you guys have him? Canadian Farmstead, I was wondering. I sent that message to another Canadian that I was getting to interview him, and it was just like, meh, who? What? You guys probably didn't get the government grant guy on TV in Canada. I don't think he was doing government grants in Canada. He was doing U.S. government grants. So did you guys get the infomercials for the question mark guy? Okay, so you're not familiar. That makes sense. I didn't think that one through very good. But Matthew Lesko, the interview is going to be coming out in late January, I think. He was a guy that ended up landing in a pretty interesting gig where he researched and wrote books about using government grants, how to find them, how to qualify for them, how to write them, how to get them money. And it was, he learned how to sell and realized that it wasn't what you said, but how you said it. He made up suits, not like tuxedos, almost dress suits, with question marks all over them. He did his hair all crazy, wore interesting glasses, things like that, and did infomercials and acted insane, basically, screaming and yelling about the government money and this, that, and very, very recognizable if you've seen him. He went on things like Oprah and Larry King and all of these talk shows talking about his books. And it really came off as, when I was growing up, it came off as a scam. The order this book and I'll tell you how to make $1 million. All you got to do is sell 1 million of these books type of thing. Late night sham wow infomercial type. But he had staying power. I mean, the guy's 81 years old. He's still doing what he's doing. He started back in the 90s and has rolled through the 90s, 2000s into today, and he's still out there pushing. And he tossed out some interesting facts yesterday. And when I started the interview, I wondered if he was Canadian Pharmacist says, how many lawsuits did he have for writing the book? I have no idea. But he started throwing some numbers around and through his verbiage, I kind of got this vibe, and I couldn't pin down if this guy was, if he really just wants to help people, or if he was just like a flaming lib wanting to give money away. And in the end, I think it was something to where he realizes the money's going to be given away regardless. It's in the budget, it's set, it's not like we talked a little bit about Trump, and that people think that all this is going to go away because Trump's coming in and making all these cuts. He's like, the budget for 2025 is already established. And if you guys want to guess in the comments, there's a few of you here. If you guys want to guess how much money is allocated to government grants in 2025, he told me the number. It's actually going up. It's going up by like $4 billion or some shit. $500 billion. 500 billion. I can't remember exactly what he said it's increasing by, but the number was startling enough to me that I wasn't sure that he said it was increasing by that much. I thought it was the total amount. Give a guess how much government money is allocated in the 2025 United States budget for grants. And this is grants for everything from scientific grants to just help with getting a small business started, or this, that, and the other thing. All of them added up. He's done this research. Canadian Pharmacist says 1 trillion. No. No. You're a little shy. You're a little shy. He says you guys like doing things by the trillion. It is in the trillions. Pip says 25 trillion. No, not quite, Pip. Not quite. $4 trillion. $4 trillion is allocated to grants. Now, Matthew's theory is they're going to give that away anyway. And I asked him, I was like, you're in Washington. You see all this shit. You've been doing this for 30, 20 years. John Palmer says Corey's drinking again. That's Norman having his morning snack. Like I said, these guys have been eating me out of house and home recently. He's just like plowing through food again this morning. But Lesko's been around this for so long. I said, what happens at the end of the year? You got $4 trillion allocated. And you get to the end of the year, the end of the fiscal year, October. So it just kind of passed last month, 2 months ago, last month. What happens to the money if it doesn't get spent? And he says politicians and bureaucrats are out on the streets in Washington grabbing people to apply for these grants, to give it away. Because it's the old, if we don't spend it, our budget goes down next year. If we do spend it, we get allocated more money. Now, regardless of what you think of government, and that was kind of where we landed, I think, as an understanding is, this system is set in place. We're not going to change it. Trump isn't going to change it. And maybe the collapse of the United States government might change it. But at this point, that ship has sailed. He wants to give people an opportunity to use that money to better themselves and help other people. I think it would be his credo, his MO, his underlying drive. The guy donates his Social Security check every month to a scholarship at a local community college near him. So he understands that, he says he doesn't like helping rich people because they have no soul. And I kind of chuckled. So I don't know where the dude actually falls politically on the spectrum, but in this case, we had a very interesting conversation about if it's there and it's going to be there, and somebody might as well use it to better themselves and hopefully continue that momentum and helping others after it happens. So it was an interesting conversation. He's as goofy as I ever thought, as I ever could have expected after seeing his commercials growing up and watching him over the years. He's as goofy as can be. He gives a bunch of websites during the show that we kind of pop on and we check out. I didn't get him up on the screen because it's mostly an audio podcast, but checked out some things that he gave real quick. And then he also has community now that he's helping. He's helping others help others. So look forward to that in January coming out. It's a lot more than what I just touched on there. We did have a nice, it actually went a little long. And I'm probably going to end up having him back to do a whole longer in-depth episode on getting like finding money for things you need and finding help for things you see. And he said, it's not necessarily just money either. There's a lot of programs that are funded through these grants that provide help to people, non-monetary help, legal advice and all sorts of things. So it was interesting. It was a really interesting conversation, especially with the perspective of me not wanting anything to do with government. And yeah, so should check it out later in January. Today, Rob had Rob Tracy released episode released today. Rob and I had a conversation about him growing up and ending up being a performer out, released this morning. And look at that. Little interwebs glitch. Released this morning. I think I set them to go out at 5 a.m. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So that was released today. It's a good episode. You should check it out and definitely share it with others. Got a notice from Fold yesterday. Fold debit card. Been using it for a couple years now. Earn Bitcoin on all your transactions. Sorry, Canadian Farmstead and all the other Canadian listeners, it is not available in Canada. You have Shake Pay. You got Shake Pay up there. It's very similar. But Fold has been Fold's kicking it in the ass, man. Fold has been constantly improving since I heard of them. Since I signed up for my card way back, I think Fold has been constantly improving, trying to make their service better. Some people got upset when their reward system changed. We've talked about that on the show before. It had to. It was unsustainable what they were doing. And if you go into it understanding that, and take advantage of it while you can, and understand that it's not an endless flow of free Bitcoin. It's a promotional ploy to get people to start using their service, and then realize that now you're still accumulating Bitcoin, probably at a more reasonable rate and a more sustainable rate than what was possible at the beginning. And not compare it to what you were making before, but look at it standalone with, if you pay for a Plus membership, what's it cost? What do you earn in Bitcoin in a year? What does your Bitcoin value that you earn in that year? What is it worth next year? Are you hodling it? Are you stacking it to buy something? What is your MO? And take a big evaluation of that. You can't compare it to the day that you got the card and they were pumping for members and you got 1,000 sats on your spin in the morning and you got extra bonus spins and all this. It was gamified to launch the product. I know a lot of people got ticked off when they changed the rewards. You know what? My bank account on my debit card has 0 rewards. Nothing. If I swipe my card at Kroger and buy $100 worth of groceries, I get $100 worth of groceries. I don't even know if we earn interest or anything. Not enough to even notice. John Palmer says, which time? They have to adjust. I think at this point, John, you saying which time when they change the reward structure? I think I've been through 2 changes. Some of them aren't their call either. Some of the changes they have to make are because of crypto laws that come into place. I mean, the transaction fee free Bitcoin purchasing in itself, you can literally send the improvements they're making, I feel, are probably outweigh the rewards change. But anyway, I've always said, look at the rules. Anytime they change them, whatever they are now, look at the system and figure out how to maximize it to your advantage. And if you can't do that and you can't make it worth the trouble, then don't use it. Never really asked. I mean, I ask people to use it, but only if it's right for you. But right now, as it is, you can let's see the features they've added lately. You can buy Bitcoin, you can auto stack Bitcoin. You can round up purchases to accumulate and buy Bitcoin. You can now send Bitcoin to your Fold card and use Bitcoin balance to purchase gift cards. You can purchase gift cards and send them to folks. So if you're giving gift cards away as a gift for present, you can buy those gift cards, send those to people using either your Bitcoin balance or using fiat. I just saw that yesterday. I don't know if they announced it yesterday, but I saw it yesterday. You can now link a credit card to your Fold account if you don't want to use your Fold balance to buy your gift cards. You can now use a credit card to buy your gift cards. So if you're doing Christmas shopping, things like that, I think that opens up a little bit of more availability to purchasing power, depending on how you run your finances. That's available. And released yesterday for sure, announced yesterday, I guess, you can now get authorized user cards for your families, for your wife, for whoever, just like you would a credit card. So Fold for a long time since they were established said, if you want a second card, you have to have a second account. We can't do linked accounts. Not anymore. So if you wanted to get a card for your wife or your kid or a second one for yourself, I don't know, your grandma, you can now do authorized users just like credit cards. So nice new feature. They do have the 20,000 sats for new members, new signups, and then I would get 10,000 sats back if you use my link. It's down in the video description, the audio description. Click that link, sign up. Once you attach a bank account, make your first purchase, you get a 20,000 sat bonus, which right now is worth like what, $20, $19. What's 20,000 sats, John? If you could convert that, or maybe Pip, somebody Canadian Farm said, how many US dollars is 20,000 sats at the moment? It's got to be like 19 something, 18 something. Is that right? Or is that wrong? Too many zeros? I don't remember. Anyway, 20,000 sats for you. Tomorrow it'll be worth more or less depending on the price of Bitcoin, but 20,000 sats to you, 10,000 sats to me. Mike Homestead says, send me an authorized user card. I'll help you earn. Yeah. Because my balance, $18. Okay. I mean, it's $18, but last year it was 10 or 5. Fuck. That's the beauty of those rewards, guys. If so, think about this. I think it's been 2.5 years. 2.5 years ago, some dude was like, hey, get this card, get this debit card and check it out. Maybe start tinkering around with it. You go on, you spin a little bit, you spin the thing every day, you get bonus spins, you do this. This is just a little fun gamified thing. It's an app on your phone. You get a debit card with it. You hook up the debit card. You start stacking sats with it. This is back when Bitcoin, is like, oh, I don't know, under $20,000. And you start stacking, you start using it, you start working it, you try to figure out, okay, well, I'm going to be buying Amazon shit, so I'm going to buy some Amazon gift cards. I'm going to take the extra couple days, which now it's gotten way quicker. And now they have direct deposit and all sorts of features. But back when everybody was like, it's too hard to have to think about what I'm going to buy and transfer money there, and it takes 3 to 5 days for the money to show up. Yeah, you know what they did for that inconvenience? They rewarded you very nicely with rewards, with Bitcoin rewards. And you stack those rewards, and you got 1, you got 10, you got 1,000. But as those accumulated, because guess what? You could just throw them in a wallet. Because if you're swiping your Bank of America debit card, you're not earning anything. So you're not out anything except a little extra time and hoops to jump through to get the earnings. Put it all in a wallet. And as Bitcoin increased in value, 20, 30, 50, 60, 80. Now we sit at 93,000. What do those rewards look like? The value of the rewards keeps going up. You get paid in a static amount. You get paid in Satoshis. The value of the Satoshis goes up or down. Stack them and wait. And see what happens. What are you out? John Palmer's 247,215 Satoshis is what John's made. Was it worth it, John? If Bitcoin stayed at $93,000 for the rest of eternity, and you stacked all those sats, was it worth the trouble you had to go through? Was it worth the price you had to pay? Was the juice worth the squeeze? Because I look at my rewards balance and my fold card, and obviously I'm continuing to use it. But boy, am I glad I jumped on that when I did. And the weird part is, prior to me getting a fold card, prior to me actually getting into it, by at least 6 months, I interviewed a guy on Lots to Talk About that lived off crypto, that used Fold for that purpose. He used it at that point. And I was busy and didn't look at it. If I had had another 6 months of stacking at the higher rates that they were doing, because it was still a shit show and the functionality wasn't as smooth, so it's all compensated there. As the features increased and the usability increased, the rewards went down. It's just you see the model other places too. It just stacks, man. And if you go in once a month and you pull it out, if you take advantage of the auto buy features, your DCAing, I believe you can get down to $1 a week, $1 a month in Bitcoin purchases. If you can, if you do those roundups and do 1x, 2x, 3x, 4x, 5x roundups, where if you got that spare change hanging off on a purchase, $1.65, you got 35 cents there. It rounds that, puts it into a little kitty that when it accumulates to $5 or whatever limit you say, it buys Bitcoin with it. You can multiply that too. So that 35 cents, when you have that 35 cents hanging, you can do 2x. So it's 70 cents goes into your Bitcoin roundup fund, or $1.40 if you 4x it. It's an interesting concept. And if you're just looking to accumulate Bitcoin for doing the shit you're doing already, it's fantastic. The fact that they've added in the functionality of the authorized user and being able to tag a credit card to use to buy the gift cards, and it still has functionality, I think it's great. I think you should have taken the advice 2 years ago, but the next best time would be today. So scroll down, hit the link, sign up, and start using the card. Sign up using my link or not. I just think it's to your benefit to investigate. Canadian Farm says it's better than a kick in the nuts with a frozen boot. I mean, I guess that depends on what you're into. Some folks might like that. So that's the new news with Fold. I saw an article yesterday that I had to put on the list here. It I don't know if this is going to ramp up with the change in regime here in the U.S. or what's going to go on with the climate science and all the end of the world and the climate change and all of that. I don't know. I don't know how that cycle works if it goes up or down with the change, but article says headline Earth's axis tilts 31.5 inches and scientists pinpoint exactly who is to blame. All right, I'm going to stop for a second. I know that we are taught all sorts of shit in school. I know that as I've gotten older, I've discovered that maybe more than likely several of the things that we were educated on in school may not have been actually accurate or partial truths or things like that. My understanding Canadian Farmstead says, can I please pay the Axis tax? Right. So my understanding is that throughout the history of the Earth, as long as it's been here, things have been shifting. Poles have been changing. Axes have been slightly varying back and forth. And when we think about the size of the Earth, and we think about a 31-inch shift, what is the scale of the impact of that? I don't know. Like, I'm not saying that it's not a big deal. I'm not saying that it's a huge deal. It might be Earth ending. Who knows? Is a 31 and a half inch shift of the North Pole or the axis, the North and South Pole, is that Earth shattering? Is that we don't even notice it? We obviously haven't noticed a whole lot because nobody's like falling off the Earth or that. Pip says it's just 31 inches and you won't feel it, right? I assume that the Earth routinely shifted around. That this was a pattern that happened over and over and over again, almost like the global warming and the global cooling that they jump on to say that it's all our fault. Stuff that was happening before we were here, and you know, the whole insanity of it. But regardless, I was curious who's to blame for this 31 and a half inch shift in the poles, the axis of the Earth. Here we go. Humans have been identified as the culprits behind a startling shift in the Earth's axis by almost 31.5 inches, nearly 80 centimeters, a recent study reveals. Climate change researchers uncovered this alarming detail, pointing to human extraction of groundwater as a significant factor that can both alter our planet's rotation and contribute to sea level rises. Pip, be careful. Florida will soon be underwater if we pump any groundwater out of Russia anymore. Wait, is that the right tipping? If we tip the Earth this way, does Florida flood? Anyway, from their findings, scientists noted the staggering quantity of Earth's water resource redistribution of water, not redistribution of wealth this time. The Earth's water resource redistribution caused an average of 0.24 inch increase in sea levels, a quarter inch of sea level rise, between the years 1993 and 2010. Pip says, I thought the Earth's axis wobbled naturally. So did I. But anyway, it sounds like we've had a quarter inch increase in sea levels between 93 and 2010. I don't know if that sounds congruent with the other data I've seen. This resulted in the movement of the Earth's mass and a consequent drift of its rotational pole at approximately 4.36 centimeters annually. Seoul National University geophysicist and leading author Ki Won-seo, I don't know how to say his name, I don't speak Korean, remarked, Earth's rotational pole actually changes a lot. Our studies show that among climate-related causes... Okay, so here we go. Here's the quote. Earth's rotational pole actually changes a lot. So there's a million factors in this, but our studies show that among the climate-related causes, so we have several causes. We'll translate this for the slow kids. We have several causes of the Earth wobbling, quote unquote wobbling, but some of those are climate related, and among the some that are climate related, the redistribution of groundwater actually has the largest impact on the drift of the rotational pole. So one of the several causes has several causes, and this is the biggest one. The way the Earth tilts hinges on how its mass is distributed globally, with prominent factors including, hey, maybe that senator had it right. If we put another Navy base on that island, it might flip over. The way the Earth tilts hinges on how its mass is distributed globally, with prominent factors including the melting of ice from glaciers and polar regions in Greenland and Antarctica. As this ice transforms into water and travels towards the equator, it redistributes the weight across the planet, thus instigating the axis shift. Analysis of data over a 17-year span revealed that the pumping of around 2,150 gigatons of groundwater has precipitated a shift of about 31.5 inches in Earth's tilt. Okay, so they just said that water melting off the ice caps is flowing towards the equator, but then reference pumping groundwater as the cause. Pip says, don't listen to what we said, listen to what we're saying now. And Pip says, so does this mean Coke can't take the spring water in Florida anymore? Mike Soap says, we think possibly this is happening. So is it the ice caps melting and the water going to the equator, or us pumping groundwater and redistributing? I can't say the fucking word. Moving the fucking groundwater, making the Earth tilt. Researchers highlighted that the primary reason for the increased water pumping are irrigation and human consumption. Sal pointed out, observing changes in Earth's rotational pole is useful for understanding continent-scale water storage variations. The observation connects local water movements to potential global effects on the planet. The researcher expressed mixed feelings, saying, I'm very glad to find the unexplained cause of rotation pole drift. On the other hand, as resident of the Earth and a father, I'm concerned and surprised that pumping groundwater is another source of sea level rise. According to findings published in the Journal of Geophysical Research Letters, melting of the polar ice sheets and mountain glaciers has been understood as a main cause of sea level rise associated with contemporary climate warming. It has been proposed that an important anthropogenic contribution in sea level rise due to groundwater depletion resulting from irrigation. All right, which the fuck is it? Is it the ice caps melting or the redistribution of groundwater? Because they keep interchanging them, and I don't think they're the same. I could be wrong. Is glacial ice sheets in the Arctic considered groundwater for irrigation and human consumption? I don't know. Pip says, is this a part of that $4 trillion study money? I'm guessing it is. Well, this probably is not. I don't think these guys are from the U.S. Upon reviewing the study, NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory research scientists, I'm not even going to try that name, stated they've quantified the role of groundwater pumping on polar motion, and it's pretty significant. So now we're back to pumping groundwater. But every single quote starts with polar ice caps melting. This is trash. The implication of this discovery add a new dimension to our understanding of climate change and how we address it. Stop drinking water. I guess what they're going to tell us. Oh, now we got a NASA guy in the art. I just don't understand. This shit's all over the place. Mike's Homestead. Don't worry about that. Mike's Homestead says, how about all the topsoil we dump in the ocean due to the big ag farming practices? I'm pretty sure putting soil at the bottom of the oceans will make the top go up. That makes sea levels rise. I'm pretty sure. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure if you take shit and throw it in the bottom of a body of water, it makes the top go up. Pip says no more water and eats the bugs. There's enough water in the bugs. You don't need to drink it. We're gonna flip the earth over if we keep pumping water. You guys want to talk about 100K Bitcoin or shooting things at the sun? Oh, first of all, I have a question. For those you guys over on Nostr that are watching might have a better feel for this, or I guess the guys in the chat here. Would you call Bitcoin a token? Personally, I don't. I wouldn't refer to Bitcoin as a token. Maybe it is. I didn't think that that Bitcoin is classified as a token, but could be wrong. Could be wrong. It didn't sound right. It didn't sit right. And the quick little research I did didn't really reveal a definitive. Pip says Bitcoin is not a token. That's where I was with it. I just wasn't. It was interesting. Interesting. Let's talk about shooting shit at the sun. Since we're talking about sea levels rising and all this shit. Article by Harry Weber. Why can't we just launch all of Earth's garbage into the sun? Mike's Homestead says Bitcoin's a meme coin. Right? For sure. It's a meme coin. When moon. Meme coin. Why can't we just launch all of Earth's garbage into the sun? After seeing Elon Musk send thousands upon thousands of satellites into low Earth orbit, it's only natural to wonder. I don't know how natural it is to wonder this, because I haven't wondered. Have any of you wondered it? It's natural to wonder why we can't launch all our junk into space too. I've never wondered that. Or even straight into the sun. That sounds like a good idea. John Palmer says that sounds like a great idea. Then the sun can start shooting back. Aside from the moral quandaries raised by such a poor stewardship of our already disheveled solar system, Earthlings probably haven't made a habit of beaming literal garbage into space yet because we simply can't afford to. Are they running out of shit to fucking write about? Pip says, but if we launch all the way into the sun, we could flip the Earth due to the loss of mass. The garbage is keeping us on tilt. It's not cost feasible at all. You require a lot of thrust and a lot of fuel to do that, explained John L. Cresistis, a professor of mechanical and aerospace engineering at the State University of New York at Buffalo. I attended that school for a few years. Mike Holmes says, hate to see that garbage bill. Yeah, no shit. We got a sun launch tax going on your garbage bill now. In a call with Popular Science, part of the challenge is that our junk can't go just anywhere, although it certainly does so here on Earth. Microplastics are literally everywhere, and the Great Pacific Garbage Patch is around twice the size of Texas. John Palmer says that explains some things. Me going to college for a few years. But if we could somehow gather it all up and bag it for space, would we use Hefty or Glad? You've got to get it away from the Earth's influence. At least 22,000 miles from the surface, warned Cassidis. Otherwise, we'd risk our junk colliding with satellites and eventually finding its way back home. We already have a relatively unregulated orbital junk problem with tens of thousands of known objects up there and counting. Much of it burns up upon entering Earth's atmosphere, fortunately. But earlier this year, a chunk of space station survived recently re-entry and actually crashed into a home in Florida. Pip, where did the space station crash? Why do we have to put it into the sun? Here's a interesting thought. If the majority of things burn up on re-entry, what if we send smaller amounts of garbage more frequently into low orbit and let it come back in slowly and burn up in the atmosphere? It'd be like a big incinerator. We just routinely are propelling our garbage into space for it to slowly come back and enter the atmosphere and burn up on the way back in. I mean, would it work? That way you don't have to get it that 22,000 miles away to get out of the Earth's influence. We low shot them and expect them to come back in and burn up. Pip said the ISS part crashed into a 2-story Naples home back in June. I don't even recall that happening. Okay. Okay, but what about simply firing our trash towards the moon? We don't want to tip the moon's axis. You definitely don't want to send it around the moon because it could crash onto the moon, right? You want our junk to pile up on the moon? Who fucking cares? For the record, dear reader, I do not. Even Mars, something like that, you've got to think 200 years from now, and hopefully we'll be colonizing Mars. You don't want junk there too. Pip says 2.9 tons of used batteries. Can we please shoot all the lithium batteries into the sun and then complain because it gets too hot because all the lithium batteries are burning up on fire in the sun? Or maybe we could send all the lithium batteries to the moon, light them on fire, and it would be like a new sun. The part that hit the house in Naples was 2.9 tons of used batteries. Is that what you're saying there, Pip? That's interesting. Interesting. Oh, why don't we shoot our garbage into the sun? I can't even go on with the rest of it. Crypto.com. Was this on crypto.com? Why Bitcoin stopped short of 100,000 milestone and when it might get there. $93,475 for reference, $93,475 at current time here at 7 o'clock on November 27th, 2024. If you're hearing this from the future. Bitcoin rocketed towards $100,000 last week, but pulled back just shy of the milestone in recent days. This was from 13 hours ago. Okay, follow up on the house in Naples. Pip says the pallet of batteries was 2.9 tons that was ejected in 2021, and whatever did not burn up hit the house 3 years later. Great. We just have we don't have anything else to worry about with earthquake giants and eclipse giants and all sorts of things like that. Now we have to worry about falling batteries. Bitcoin rocketed towards 100,000 last week, but pulled back just shy of the milestone in recent days. The 6-digit mark is a stiff resistance level and psychological selling point for investors, a source told Business Insider. Even if the correction deepens, analysts still expect Bitcoin to top 100,000 this year. The crypto market held its breath last week as Bitcoin verged on breaking through the $100,000 mark, only to be disappointed as the momentum stalled and then sharply reversed course. Disappointed as in buy more at a lower price. Here it is. This was it. This wasn't crypto.com. This is MSN.com. The token's price reached a record $99,655.50 on Friday, but fell back just before crossing the 6-digit milestone. This was as of 2:53 Eastern on Tuesday. The cryptocurrency traded at 91,749. Hey, we're back up another $2,000. Nearly 8% drop from its all-time peak. They're talking 8% drop. What was it up in the previous 4 weeks or some shit? It was unbelievable. We had an 8% pullback. Oh my god. Matt Mena, crypto research strategist at 21 Shares, explained that the 100,000 level serves as a psychological selling point for investors who have held onto Bitcoin since the last bull run. I think it's a psychological point regardless. I think a lot of people had sell orders in it at 100. It just happens. Pip says, hey, the DAS is paying for the damage, or the taxpayers. Right. John Palmer says they probably thought it would burn up, but forgot to carry the 1 in the calculation. We can get 0.29 tons of batteries to burn up in 3 years if we eject it now. God damn it, John, it was 2.9 tons. Guys, don't worry about Bitcoin. A similar pattern emerged earlier this year in March when Bitcoin lingered near its previous all-time high of 69,000 from 2021 for almost 7 days before eventually breaking through. As the price approached the level, many participants from the last cycle began taking profits, anticipating a potential sell-off. Other analysts said there are other factors that can be also blamed for Bitcoin's deepening correction. What a bunch of fuck. What a bunch of FUD. Deepening correction. FX Pro chief market analyst Alex Kuptizivich pointed to easing geopolitical tensions between Lebanon and Israel, reducing investors' appetite for safe haven assets like Bitcoin. Peace in the Middle East. Peace in the Middle East stopped Bitcoin from topping $100,000. Should have been the headline. Oh my God. It's just nonsense. Sorry guys, I can't even read it. I can't. No. Pip says, let's be real, Bitcoin value hasn't gone up. The fiat dollar has gone down that much. I don't know if that's exactly right. But kind of, sort of. Kind of, sort of, not all in. It's a lot of shit, man. It's a way deeper than that, but I don't think it's peace in the Middle East. I just they every time the needle moves, everybody's got 17 reasons why. People sold at 100,000. Close to prior, took profits. That's just what they do. We're coming up at the end of the year. New president elected, like all the reasons stacked up. Did you see when it started going up? It was right after the election, actually election day. I remember sitting on election day watching the alerts come on my phone going, I know who's leading in the polls. I can tell you who's leading in the polls. When people in power make policy that affects something, crypto, and then the new people in power have the exact opposite view on said thing, crypto, maybe it's good for the price. Maybe more people are interested in getting into it when you have someone coming into power that's like, yeah, it's not a bad idea. Whether that's true, whether that ends up being the case, who knows? But it happens to move the needle. There's a million reasons, but I don't know if easing tensions in Israel, between Israel and Lebanon, caused it to not breach 100,000. John Palmer says speculation. Or just natural trading patterns. I mean, like he said, that it happened the same thing at 69. It happened at all the all-time highs. 100,000 is a huge round number. It's a huge stepping stone. What would have been the last one? 1,000, 10,000, 50,000? What psychological number has the same significance as $100,000 asset? We were going to six figures. We're rolling the odometer. It's a big one. I think it's more. I think it's more significant than a lot of people give it credit for. It's a big round number. Oh, I got to get out of here, guys. We're gonna wrap it up. I'm going to take a couple days off. We'll regroup. We'll come back on Monday. I'm hoping to have everything figured out and in place by next week. Figuring out what I'm going to be doing going forward here. I appreciate you guys hanging out this morning. I hope you have a fantastic Thanksgiving. Maybe not regular scheduled show. Maybe we'll pop on, do something on Friday with some Amazon stuff. If I don't see you before Black Friday, before Cyber Monday gears up with all the sales and everything, Christmas shopping and the like, if you would please start your Amazon purchases by going to amazon.com/shop/the Lots Project, going to YouTube, finding any of the videos on the Lots Project channel, click on those affiliate links and get started in that tracking. I appreciate that. This is a big time of year for people that roll have income coming in from affiliate sales. It's the shopping season, so don't give all your money to Amazon. Let them send me a little bit kickback for all the purchases you make. Talked about the fold card earlier. You can scroll down and find a link to that down in the description, and link to Director Detour, new episode released this morning and every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Also, all sorts of idea lists down there. Emergency vehicle gear list, coffee gear list, and be sure, like I said, to consider a year of C4 for you or someone you love. I appreciate you hanging out this week, guys, and have a very, very, very happy Thanksgiving. We'll catch you on the Telegram group, out on socials, over on Noster, and we will talk to you soon.